What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome back. I wanted to do a little sit down video today to talk about an update for how my no buy / low buy year is going, and also pretty much what I've learned so far of having this low buy / no buy year and how I think it's changed my life for the better. So to begin, I just want to start by saying I am a person who loves shopping. Of course, I love to buy clothes, I love to go shopping. So doing this has really been an adjustment for me because not being able to just go out and buy new things all of the time has been pretty difficult, I will say. But honestly, I have saved so much money this year that the first thing that I realized is that you really don't need as much stuff as you think you need. And you also don't need it right now. I feel as if as a consumer, a lot of the times you feel like you need something right now is when you have to have it. And I think that kind of is the main issue when you think about it, because if you put it in your cart, don't buy it, then a lot of the times you're thinking about it later on and you're like, oh, okay, well, actually, I really did not need that as much as I thought I did. So I think for me, the biggest thing that I have learned is that you really just don't need as much stuff. So the first thing that I really did to help me during this low buy / no buy year was so I made this rule for myself where I cannot buy new clothes. And the reason why I decided to do a no buy / low buy year is because I'm buying a house this year and I wanted to save as much money as humanly possible, and why I think that this would be a good idea for someone that is about to buy a house. So if you're about to buy a house, the best thing you can do for yourself is have a low buy / no buy year before you buy your house. Because before, if I had went ahead and bought my house before I did this no buy / low buy year, I would have still been in this endless cycle of just buying things that I don't need. So the first thing that I did was make a budget for us for the entire year and for each month. And also doing this has really made me realize how much of I'm spending on certain things that I should not be spending. And I utilize the app Rocket Money. If you haven't heard of Rocket Money, it's basically an app. This is not sponsored. I pay for this app every single month because I think it is such a good thing to have. It is an app that keeps track of all of your spending for the month, for the year, probably for the next 10 years. It's gonna have all of my expenses in this app. You can link all of your accounts and everything. It keeps track of everything for you. It tells you all the subscriptions that you're paying for, and then it also gives you the option to cancel them in the app. So that makes it super easy. If you're paying for something and you don't know what you're paying for, you can go in that app and it will show you what you're paying for. So I like to utilize this app to keep up with how much I'm spending each month on groceries, and also keep up with all of the budget during the month. I can go into the app and see where I'm at. The biggest thing for me was groceries. So I typically would always go buy groceries every single weekend, like not once a month, every single weekend. Sometimes I would go like multiple times during a week as well. And you know, every time you go to the grocery store these days, you spend over $100 easy. And it's terrible because grocery prices are super expensive, so it makes it not fun. So the biggest thing that I've learned is that if I budget and meal prep our meals and go ahead and make out a meal plan for the entire month, it saves me so much money, because I did not realize before, but I was buying just extra stuff here and there. I would buy, oh, I'm gonna buy this for this recipe that I might make, even though I didn't write this recipe down or any of the ingredients. Those things that I would buy would just sit in my pantry and build up, and then I would forget that I even have them before I went grocery shopping, and then they would be forgotten about, and then it was wasted money. So the biggest thing for me has been planning out every single aspect of the month. Meals, if you have any type of expenses that you know that you're gonna have to pay for in that month, I go ahead and budget those in, and it has made it biggest difference, honestly, because I have been able to go and see like, okay, well, I'm gonna have extra money here and here. I can get what I need to get for this month. And then also for budgeting, like groceries, like just for me and my boyfriend, we budgeted $700 a month for groceries, but that also includes any type of like cleaning supplies or like Clorox wipes, toilet paper, self-care items, protein powder, that includes everything. So a lot of the times so far, since this is my 6-month mark of the year, we did go over budget a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie, it is very difficult to stick to that type of budget because we're both on health journeys and healthy products are very expensive. It's expensive to buy fresh produce and like good quality meats all the time. So that's just one thing that we had to realize that we were gonna be spending on, but I've learned to cut costs here and there. So we pretty much go do our main grocery haul of the month, the first of the month. At the very beginning of the month, we'll go to Sam's Club, Publix, Walmart. Another hard pill that I had to swallow was that everything is cheaper at Walmart, okay? So one thing I had to learn was that everything is cheaper at Walmart. I know you love your Publix, you love your Kroger, and wherever else you go to get stuff at, because trust me, I am a Publix girl through and through. I love Publix so much. The main thing that I learned that hurt my feelings was that everything is cheaper at Walmart, okay? Just everything. Unless Publix is having their BOGO deals, even when they're having those buy one, get one free deals, a lot of the times Walmart prices are still cheaper. And it sucks, but because I hate going in Walmart, I was just one of those people that did not love to go to Walmart because it's always really crowded and you can't just chill and hang out like you can when you're shopping at Publix, because Publix is really not ever that crowded. At least where I live, it's not. But anyway, so I had to learn that compare your prices. So if you're buying something at Kroger or Publix and you notice the price of it, just keep track of that and then go to Walmart and look and see how much that same item would cost you at Walmart. Because a lot of the times, whether you love Walmart or not, they do have the lowest prices. Aldi, on the other hand, they do have some really good stuff as well. I did notice a lot of the times at Aldi, you'll be able to find like different grocery deals for things that you can get at Aldi that are just a lot cheaper than anywhere else. But a lot of the times, even with that, some of their prices are pretty much on par with Walmart nowadays. So really, instead of going to like 3 different grocery stores, all in all, you could just go get mainly everything at Walmart. There are some things I do not buy at Walmart, which is mainly like fruits for the most part. We get our apples from Walmart, but if I'm gonna buy strawberries, blueberries, or like blocks of cheese, then we do not get those from Walmart. We get those from Publix just because they don't sell good quality cheeses and stuff like that at Walmart. So, but that's one of my biggest tips is just compare your grocery prices, guys. Like doing that has saved me so much money, honestly. Another thing that has saved me a ton of money, because I used to love to watch these haul videos of people just buying all these things. I've kind of stopped watching those videos unless it's just for like entertainment purposes now, but not intentionally watching them to get influenced to purchase the products. A lot of the times if you're watching these influencers and they're using these products, you're gonna wanna buy these products. And that's a lot of the times what happens, and that's where the majority of your purchases come from. So just kind of dialing back my social media and then scaling it to things that I'm really interested in, where I don't have to purchase products to like watch their videos, like more vlog style things or like travel videos. Things like that have really helped me a lot. And so far this year, I've been able to save around I've actually been able to save around 17 grand so far, and it's 6 months into the year. So by the end of the year, I should be able to save like much more than that, honestly. And it's just been really nice. The main thing that I've learned for groceries is only buy what you need for the month that you're in, because that's probably one of the biggest things that I was doing wrong, is that I was buying all these things. They were sitting in my pantry, in my freezer. I was forgetting about them. I was not making recipes for those ingredients specifically, and they just stayed in my pantry and never got used. So now I make out my meal plans for the entire month. I just do dinners though. I don't meal prep any other meals other than dinners, but me and Nathan, both my boyfriend, know what we are gonna eat for lunch most of the time. So it's not like we're planning those meals out, because it's the same for me every single day. I eat the same lunch every single day, which is really boring for some people, but for me, I like it. It tastes really good, but it makes it easy when we're planning our meals out. And also our grocery list that we plan out is super easy to keep up with, because we're eating the same things for the most part. And our dinners are always high protein dinners that I have meal prepped. So because of that, it's really easy for me to just go and make make out the meal plan for the entire month for dinners, and then that way I go and buy all of the ingredients at the beginning of the month, and then I also make out plans for the weekend for dinners as well, so that way we have a plan. When you have a plan in place, or when you have food in your fridge, you're a lot less likely to go out. And then I also budget for us to go out every single month. We are budgeting strict though, so I usually give us a budget of like $150 a month to eat out on, but that also includes birthdays, holidays, like family members that have birthdays and things like that, or like Mother's Day, Father's Day, we got to take them out to eat, you know what I mean? Like that comes out of that same budget. So it's really strict, but it's really worked for us, because the best thing that you can do is find a place that you really enjoy that is cheap. We like this taco bus that is close to us. They have really good burritos and tacos, and we literally get 2 huge steak burritos and 2 orders of corn in a cup, and the entire meal costs around $34. That's with a tip. So that's a really cheap dinner in my opinion. That's borderline fast food almost, but not fast food, and it still tastes like really good. It's super, you know, filling and all of that stuff. So I really recommend finding a really good cheap place that you love to eat at, that you can keep in your rotation for monthly, like eating out and things like that, because it just makes it so much easier when you're planning. You can go ahead and plan for the month, like, oh, I'm gonna have this for dinner this day, and then we're gonna do taco bus this weekend. You know, it just makes it so much easier. Obviously, we anticipate like random things that you just may not know that are coming up, but for the most part, I try to write everything on my calendar. I'm always aware if something is gonna come up or how we're going to tackle it when it does. So that is my main tip there. And then for clothes, I made myself a rule that I was not allowed to buy any new clothes this year. We have already gone on vacation once this year, so that was a really tough thing for me. And then we're going on vacation again in December, and that's gonna be another tough thing for me, because if you know me, I love to buy new clothes before we go on vacation. It's like my favorite thing to do. Worst toxic trait, honestly. So the thing that I focused on last year was trying to buy more expensive pieces that would be more long-term. However, I've lost like 30 pounds, I think, since last year. So me doing that did not really benefit me as much, because I no longer fit into those clothes anymore. They're a little bit too big. So the way around my no-buy year for clothes is being able to go thrifting. So I set aside a budget. Obviously, thrifting can get away from you too if you're not careful and if you don't stick to budgeting. So I give myself a budget for shopping every month, which a lot of the times I don't end up using that for clothes. It ends up going into something else like car maintenance, or it could go into going out to eat, buying coffee, things like that. So majority of the time it ends up just being one of those things where we don't end up spending that, but it also goes into like a sinking funds or something like that along the lines. Because we have been budgeting so hard for eating out, I will say I've learned that I really don't care to eat out as much anymore. I do like to get dressed up and go out. That's, you know, never gonna change. I'm always gonna love to get dressed up and go out to do something, no matter what it is. But I will say, you know, from us not going out to eat all the time, it has made a huge difference. And also, not only does it save you money, but it also like helps like health-wise. You know, you're trying to lose weight, obviously not going out to eat all the time is better for your health. And I've learned that I really enjoy cooking at home, which I know everybody does not have time to do that. So that's completely understandable, which is why I recommend meal prepping, because it is something that you do one day of the week and then you're good for the entire week. And there are even some meal prep plans where people meal prep once a month and they freeze their meals for the entire month, and then you're good. And I know everybody's like, oh, I don't want to eat freezer meals or like meals that are left over that have been frozen. You cannot tell a difference than whether it is fresh or frozen, depending upon what you're cooking. A lot of the times you cannot tell a difference. So for me, it tastes just as good, and I don't even have any dishes that I made from cooking that day. It saves me a ton of time. It's just very, very beneficial in my opinion, and I think everybody should try it for at least a month to see whether they like it or not. It does take up an entire day. It's cooking a ton of food for an entire day, so you're gonna lose a day. But other than that, for the most part, it's pretty simple and easy to keep up with. I just like to use a lot of simple recipes. I use a lot of crock pot recipes, things that I can make high protein, and it's really worked for us. Another thing that I think has really helped us in terms of a low buy / no buy year, I didn't really have to cut that many things out. I already do my own nails. I do my own lash lifts, I do my own eyebrows, I cut my own hair. I've been doing all of these things for a while. So those are maintenance things that I would say that if you have the time, look into it, learn how to do it yourself, save yourself some money. Obviously not everybody can cut hair. That's like one of those things where it's a learned skill, and it's also something that I have been doing for a really long time. I've been cutting my own hair since I was in high school for the most part, so that is not really something that I would recommend that you do if you don't have any experience doing it, obviously. So, but things like doing your own nails for women and being able to do all those things that you like to do that you feel like makes you look better during the month, it saves you so much money, and I really enjoy doing them. Like lifting my lashes, not so much, don't love doing that, but doing my eyebrows, doing my nails, doing my toes, I love doing all those things. I think that it's fun, and it's kind of given me another hobby as well. Another thing I'll say that has saved me a lot of money is just finding free things to do. There are so many free things that you can do out there that do not cost money. I love to window shop too. Like I've been a big window shopper, so that's never really been an issue for me because a lot of the times I'll go in a store anyways, even if I was planning to spend money and not buy anything because I was just like, you know, I don't want to spend the money on that. But I like to be out and about. So check out your local farmers markets, check out your festivals, all these things, you know, eat before you go. Oh, that's another thing. Eat before you go grocery shopping, because if you don't, then you will stop somewhere on the way home or while you're out. But if you're like me, you'll just get a rotisserie chicken and eat it when you get home, because that's like my favorite thing to do. But yeah, for the most part, that's what I've learned. The main thing that I've learned is that you just do not need as much stuff as you think that you do. For the most part, being able to just go out and enjoy your time without feeling compelled to purchase something or any of that stuff has made a big difference. And then it's also made such a huge difference because we are about to like move into our new house, and we are gonna have to purchase things, but we're not gonna be buying things at a rate that we were before. Before that we ever did a low buy / no buy year, we used to go out and just spend tons and tons of money on just pointless things. You know, we're child free, so for the most part we buy whatever we want and do whatever we want. So that's how we lived. We would go and buy all of these things. My boyfriend loves Pokemon cards. He would go out and buy tons of these Pokemon cards, and I would just buy so many like clothes and things like that, or like I would buy something to do short term that I thought was gonna pass the time that would be fun to do. But a lot of the times it was just like not even worth it. It was something that we would buy. It is actually storming outside, so sorry if you guys hear thunder. It's very, this is a very moody little sit down chat that we're having right now. So grab yourself a little drink. I've got a Dutch bro sitting over there that I cannot reach right now, but yes. So very moody little sit down chat that we're having right now. But anyway, so I would love to buy like just things that would give me short-term enjoyment basically. And then it was like I would look at it for 5 minutes and then I wouldn't be interested in it anymore. And that's just kind of how it was with a lot of the things that we buy. One thing that I really like is that I've gotten back into reading books, and when you go thrifting at the thrift store, there are so many books that are so cheap, and I just forgot how much I love to read books because there's nothing like getting lost in a good book, honestly. And we both like to play video games too, so we both have PS5s. We didn't buy those this year. Those were in the past. But we both like to play video games as well, so just playing video games passes the time. And I learned to love cleaning this year too, honestly. It's just been one of those things that I actually enjoy doing now. And being able to do all of these things has really made a big difference for us. And I think that overall, a low buy / no buy year is probably the best decision that you can make for yourself. It's gonna be very challenging at first because of what you're used to doing. It's gonna be different, you know? So if you're trying to save a ton of money, maybe you're watching this because you wanna pay off some debt, do a low buy / no buy year. You will not regret it. Also, if you're trying to buy a house, no buy / low buy year, the year before or the year of. Obviously the year of is gonna get a little tricky because when you move in, there's probably gonna be some things that you're gonna have to buy, which is what we're gonna run into later this year, which is okay. Because truthfully, we've already furnished the house that we are renting right now. We're not gonna have to buy a ton of furniture. We are buying a new couch because ours is is very old. It's like 8 years old at this point, so it's almost falling apart. But for the most part, we've already bought all this other furniture that we needed, so we're not really gonna have to buy a ton of new things. But I will say, whenever we do move in, just expect to see a lot of purchases because we'll have to get things for the house. But yeah, but that is pretty much my 6-month update on my no-buy year and why I think a no-buy / low-buy year would be good for anybody and everybody that wanted to do one, because it just teaches you so much. You just don't need as much stuff, and also it teaches you to enjoy the things that are free and enjoy your time a little bit more. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I had to say about my low-buy / no-buy year update. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post a new video. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.